everyone, it is Kate here to tell you about the mysteries that I have read in the month of June. Now, my mystery reading in June started out very slowly because since I did Mystery May with Kate from the novel Nomad, I kind of wanted to chill out on the mysteries and just have a little break. And so it hasn't been the most amazing mystery month ever, but I do have a mystery that I really thoroughly enjoyed and will definitely reread eventually. And I will just tell you about the ones that I got to. So the first that I ended up DNFing sadly was The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Lori R. King. Now I had very high expectations for this, and I had a whole group of lovely ladies for this buddy read, and Sarai from Sarai Talks Books, Whitney from All the Shelves, and Kate from the novel Nomad. And it sounds like Whitney from All the Shelves is the only one who finished it and liked it. So I started to suspect a certain spoiler a little into this, and then Sarai already knew the spoiler, and so I had her private message me, and I was correct about what the spoiler was, and it really put me off. But in case you don't know what this series is, it's about Mary Russell, a very young, clever, and accomplished woman who meets Sherlock Holmes, and he kind of takes her and mentors her, and then they end up teaming up together. And so it was just, I got further and further into the book, and I wasn't enjoying it. I think I made it to page 200 or something. I made it pretty far into the book, and I wasn't enjoying it. And I read so many mysteries that it's made me a lot more choosy with what mysteries I do read. And so I just put it down. I wasn't enjoying it that much, and then I found out the spoiler, and it really just made me not want to read it. So unfortunately, I did not enjoy this. I really wanted to enjoy it a lot. But then a mystery that I really did enjoy, and I am so excited that Olive recommended this to me, and this is Murder at the Brightwell by Ashley Weaver. And in my failed booktuber recommends jar, Olive had recommended this, and then when I kind of decided I didn't think I'd be really continuing with that project, though, I made sure I wanted to make a priority of reading this. I wanted to read it while I was on vacation, and so Kate from the novel Nomad and I did a buddy read of this. Now, we both had kind of sporadic weeks, and I was also working on reading another mystery, and so she has not quite finished hers yet, but we're going to talk together when we both finish, and we were really enjoying it when we were reading it, so it just took me a little bit longer to really get started into it. Now this is about Amory Ames, a pretty unhappily married young socialite in the 1930s. Yes. And she is approached by her ex-fiancé when he is really worried and concerned about his sister, Emmeline, who is engaged to a man who he thinks is not a good man at all. And he basically wants Emery to come with him to the Brightwell Hotel on the seaside and convince Emmeline not to marry Rupert Howe. And that is where the mystery takes off. And this was just so much fun. It wasn't anything, like the writing wasn't super spectacular, but it was just so much fun. It's like when I think of fun mystery, this is what I think of. And there's, of course, lots of drama with Amory being there with her ex-fiancé, and then the drama with her husband probably not being very thrilled about her being there with her ex-fiancé. And it was just really good. This was almost though, it was like a caricature of a mystery. Like when the first character is murdered, Amory is telling another character, "Oh, did you hear he was murdered?" And then it says something like, "Did I see guilt or surprise in their eyes?" And so it's just really dramatic, but I loved it. Like, if you like that kind of thing, you will just relish it. And it was just really fun. It was extremely easy to read, and I was in somewhat of a reading slump after As I Lay Dying, and so between this and the next mystery I'll tell you about, it just really helped me come out of my reading slump, which is just why mysteries are so wonderful. And I highly recommend this, and I think I will be continuing with the series. It's a very new series. I think there's maybe a second one out and a third one coming out this year, and I will let you guys know if I continue with the series. But really fun, just good fun. And if you don't like creepy mysteries, this is a really good one to try. Then the one that was by far my favorite and a much more different feel was the next Ruth Rendell that I read, The Babes in the Wood, and this is the 19th in the Inspector Wexford series, and it starts out when there's lots of flooding happening in Kings Markham, And this couple has gone away for the weekend to Paris, I'm pretty sure. And when they come back, their teenage children, who they had left in the care of the wife's friend, are missing. And they don't know the circumstances of why they're missing. So Inspector Wexford and his assistant, Burden, come and investigate the case. And of course, as with any Ruth Rendell, I was not expecting a lot of the twists that happened in it. And this one felt extremely atmospheric, though, and I just love them so much. There's lots of drama happening with Wexford's daughter that he has a really tense relationship with, and so there were just lots of elements that made this one really special and unique. There's all of the flooding that's happening, and at that time, Wexford's really worried about what will be happening to his house and all his belongings, so that's kind of stressful, and he and his wife are working on keeping that. And then there's all of this tense relationship things happening with his daughter and her love life. And then to top that all off, he really feels like he's at a dead end with this case, and he just doesn't know where to turn. So it was very interesting, and it felt very different from the other ones, which I just applaud her for this to be the 19th Wexford, and it felt very different from them. And then I was really struck by the prose in this one. I just think her writing feels very literary, and there were some passages in this that just especially struck me. I'll try to find one for you guys. So when they are trying to find out more information about these teenagers that have gone missing, they're going from house to house. And it says, the inevitable house-to-house inquiries in Lyndhurst Drive elicited very little. Every householder questioned about the previous weekend spoke of the rain, the torrential, relentless rain. Water may be see-through, but rain nevertheless, when descending heavily, creates a gray wall that is no longer transparent, but like a thick, ever-moving, constantly shifting veil. Moreover, human beings in our climate take a different attitude to weather from those who live in arid countries, being conditioned not to welcome rain, but to dislike and turn away from it. And one thing that I think is really significant and special about mysteries is how authors, in especially more hard-boiled mysteries, go out of their way to go into elaborate details about everyday things of life. And I think that's really special and unique about mysteries. So this is Wexford talking about visiting Sweden at one point. And it says, it was dark. The drive took them along a wide, straight road through what seemed to be forests of fir and birch. The houses he saw, or made out through the fairly well-lit darkness, looked modern, uniform in materials, red painted weatherboarding, leaded roofs, if varied in design. Then the lights of the city in the distance showed him, with dramatic impact, a huge cathedral standing on an eminence, a black silhouette, its twin spires pointing at the jewel-blue starlit sky. And Matilda's mezzodint, it had onion domes. Only in the very old pictures were there Gothic spires. He didn't understand unless the images weren't of Uppsala at all, but of some other northern European city. A formidable castle on another hill, serene buildings he thought might be Baroque, a fast-flowing black river. He got out of the taxi, and the driver patiently sorted out his kroner for him. Oddly enough, he felt he could trust the man not to swindle him, something that wouldn't be true everywhere. Outdoors only briefly, he was chilled to the bone by the bitter cold, but inside the Hotel Lynn it was cheeringly warm. Everyone spoke English, everyone was polite, pleasant, efficient. He found himself in an austere room, pale, rather bare, but with everything that he could possibly need. Boiling hot water gushed out of the taps. So I think there's a real sophistication to being able to write about riding in a taxi cab and seeing the architecture, getting out and going into your hotel room and making it sound beautiful. And I really appreciate that about Rendell's writing. So once again, another one that just knocked it out of the park for me, The Babes in the Wood, and I look forward to continuing on with the Wexford series. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about those books, and I will see you for another video soon.